Let's talk about something I know we all think about at some point: marriage. But before you roll your eyes and think, oh, here we go again, just hear me out. Now, I'm not going to give you the whole find your soulmate speech or pretend that marriage is the ultimate goal for every woman. Now, we're keeping it real. We are talking about singleness. And no, it's not a sad, tragic thing. It's actually a golden opportunity. Hi everyone and welcome to 10 out of 10. If this is your first time here, I'm Kirsty, and on this channel we talk about femininity, personal development, self-love, and everything related to women with the goal of helping you become the best version of yourself. If you want to join the journey, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Now, let me clear something up. Just because you're single doesn't mean you're missing out on anything, okay? In fact, this is the perfect time for you to focus on you. Whether you're planning for marriage one day or just loving life as you are, this season is yours to grow, to build your foundation, and to prepare for whatever's coming next. Singleness isn't a problem to be fixed. It's an opportunity. It's a time to grow, to learn, and to prepare. And even if you're not thinking about marriage right now, you can use this time to become the kind of partner someone would want to marry whenever that moment comes. Today, we're going to deconstruct this idea of singlehood as a passing phase and see how you can use it to become the best version of yourself for you and for your future relationship. So why are we talking about marriage when we are single? You know, we often think that this single period is just a phase where we wait for the right person to show up. But no, it's not about finding the right person, but rather becoming the person that someone would want to marry. Because honestly, it's not when you meet the love of your life that you start preparing to be a good partner. It's now that it's happening. I suggest you take a moment to think about a few questions. These questions aren't here to judge, but to help you better understand yourself. First question: why do you want to get married? It's a fundamental question. Why do you have this desire? Is it because you're following the norm? Because everyone around you seems to be getting married? Because your family or friends are advising you to? Or is it really for you? Because you believe in the institution of marriage? Do you want to get married because you truly want to build a life with someone? Or is it because you want the illusion of happiness that society, movies, or social media sell us? Do you want marriage because it feels like a dream, or because you're truly ready to commit to a long-term relationship? Don't confuse marriage with the ceremony. The ceremony lasts a few hours, maybe days if you're lucky, and then it's just you and your partner for the rest of your life. That's the reality of marriage. Marriage isn't a fashion show or a one-time celebration. It's a lifelong commitment. Once the veil drops, the party ends, and the honeymoon is over, you're left with the reality. Two individuals who have to build together. Ask yourself this question honestly and intimately. Are you ready to give without accepting anything in return? Forgive and love beyond your limits? If your answer is yes, then you might be ready to fully commit to this adventure. But if you're not sure why you really want to get married, then it's essential to take time to understand your motivations before making that commitment. Second question: are you emotionally ready for a lifelong commitment? Now, before you say yes, let's get real here. Marriage is not all about the fairy tale. There are going to be tough times. There are going to be moments where you are really tested, and you will need to show up emotionally, physically, mentally. Marriage is a huge commitment. It's not just about saying yes in front of everyone and wearing a beautiful dress. It's about committing to be there for each other even when things get tough. And that's something you really need to ask yourself. Are you ready for that? I mean, it's not just about being in love. You need to be ready to face the tough times too. Are you ready to put your ego aside, to talk things through when it gets heated, to make compromises without counting every sacrifice? Are you ready to be vulnerable and accept that your partner will be too, even when it's uncomfortable? This is where you have to be honest with yourself. If you've just come out of a relationship that left you with wounds or unresolved issues, there's a good chance those will surface in your future marriage. These unresolved issues could create tensions that you don't need to add to. It's not about being perfect before you get married. None of us are. But there is a difference between being at peace with yourself and being at the point where you know you have things to work on, habits to change, or fears to face. And that takes time and introspection. But honestly, if you feel ready to open up to the other person, to understand that relationships are built together and require effort, then you're on the right track. Being emotionally ready is about giving yourself the chance to create a healthy, solid marriage that lasts. Third question, what do you expect from your future partner? Okay, here's the heart of the matter. We all dream of the perfect person and we all have clear ideas about what that person should look like. But really, if you want your marriage to work, it's about more than that. It's not just about what they look like or how many things you have in common. The real question is, do you know what you're really looking for in a partner? And more importantly, what do you have to offer? Now, I'm not talking about the physical qualities list or superficial things. Those are things that pass and age. What really matters are things like, how will they support you in tough times? Do you share the same values? Do you have the same visions for your long-term life? You see, marriage isn't just about compatibility, it's about complementarity. You need to be ready to support each other's dream, to move forward together even when the road gets bumpy, and that starts with knowing what you really want. At the same time, you need to ask yourself, what can I bring to the relationship? Because marriage is built together. You're not just there to receive. You need to be ready to offer something. So what is it that you bring to the table? Is it support, understanding, listening, anything? What is it? It's a team effort, and understanding that before you dive into anything is crucial. The goal is to be clear with yourself before committing. Am I ready to give as much as I will receive? That's the real balance. And you won't discover it when you meet the perfect person, but long before that. So take time to think about all of this. By knowing yourself well and understanding what you bring to the relationship, you'll be ready to create something solid. Fourth question. Are you ready to put the us before the me? I can't stress enough that marriage is a partnership. And sometimes it means putting the couple's need before your own. It's not about giving up on your desires completely, but being ready to make choices that help the relationship grow. It's not always easy, and it requires emotional maturity. In a relationship, there'll be moments where you have to compromise. Maybe you want to do something, but your partner wants something else. Will you insist on having your way, or will you be ready to make a compromise for the well-being of the relationship? That's the question to ask. It's knowing that sometimes what's good for you might not be what's best for the relationship. And the opposite is also true. Think about everyday situations, a project that requires patience, a moment where your partner needs your support, or practical decisions that affect the couple in the long run. When you choose to make a decision together, to put your ego aside, you are building the foundation of a solid marriage. It's not always easy, for sure, but being ready to make decisions that are good for the relationship, even when they don't match your immediate desires, is one of the keys to making a marriage, a relationship last. It's knowing that sometimes you will need to take a step back so your partner can move forward, but in the end, you both move forward together. Fifth and last question. How do you see yourself in few years? This is the big question you need to think about even before thinking about getting married. Where am I going in my life? If you want a solid marriage, you first need to know where you're going on your own. Marriage isn't a destination in itself, but rather a journey you take with another person. So before committing, ask yourself, what's my life's plan? Where do I see myself in a few years? And does that vision include a partner? It's about understanding what you want to accomplish, what you want to experience. What are your passions, dreams, goals? Maybe you dream of building a thriving career, traveling, exploring new cultures, or maybe you see yourself starting a family, buying a house, or living a more peaceful life. It's crucial to know what you want for yourself, because if you don't have a clear vision of what you want in life, how could you know what you want from a partner? Marriage should be an extension of your own vision, not a hindrance to your ambitions. And it's not just in the short term. If you want to build a solid life with someone, you need to think about the future. How do you see your life in 5, 10, 20 years? Will your marriage support your dreams, or could it hold you back? Ask yourself too, what do I expect from my partner in this long-term journey? Are we aligned on our future projects? Do we have the same priorities? Marriage isn't a cure for loneliness, nor a remedy for lack. It's a partnership where two people unite to move forward together. If you have a clear vision of your future, you'll be better able to choose a partner who shares that direction. I hope these reflections have inspired you to see your single life in a new light. We've reached the end of this video. This time of singleness is a real opportunity to grow and get ready to welcome love when it comes, but most importantly, to become the person you love to meet and marry. So tell me, what's one thing you're going to work on in your single season to be ready for the future? Maybe it's emotional growth, maybe it's understanding what you need in a partner. Let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to hit the bell so you won't miss the next videos. And of course, share it with your friends. See you soon for the next video.